If Bitcoin came in a box, okay, here's what would be in the box. Number one, a currency. Number two, a mint. Mints issue new currency. Number three, a central bank. And a central bank is the one that sets the inflation rate for the currency. A central bank is different than a commercial bank. I use a local bank called Clearview Federal Credit Union. That's a commercial bank. Wells Fargo, commercial bank. Central banks are much larger, and we'll go into more details later when we talk about Bitcoin as a central bank. But this is where the biggest banks from the state-run central banks use to send money back and forth to settle with themselves. I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's a difference between your bank and central bank. Bitcoin is like a central bank. So if Bitcoin came in a box, you'd also have a wallet or bank account for the currency. If Bitcoin came in a box, there would be a payment network for the currency. You'd also have a history of all past transactions for the currency, which Satoshi and we call it the blockchain. That's what the blockchain is. It's a history of all the transactions of that Bitcoin. Now, others might argue there's more or less to Bitcoin, and that's fine. That's just my definition of how I read the white paper and all that's happened up to now, up to date. If Bitcoin's currency were useless, if its mint was broken, if its central bank was wonky, if its wallets were hackable, if its payment network failed more than not, or its transaction history, that blockchain was wrong, then nobody would be talking about Bitcoin. Nobody would be talking about blockchain or Dogecoin or Ether, Ethereum, any of those. The price of Bitcoin would be zero and we'd never hear about it. I wouldn't be here talking to a camera today, but Bitcoin works. The currency works, the mint works, the central bank works, the wallets are free and private, the network works, and the history of all transactions is correct. And no government or bank created it or controls it and ever will. Bitcoin is free and you don't need permission to use it. We've always trusted people or governments to provide us with these things, to give us permission to use these things, like a currency, the US dollar, a central bank, a bank account, or a payment network or a ledger of all transactions, but nobody ever combined them before now. Nobody successfully removed the middleman inside all of this. Nobody removed the human factor until now. Nobody automated all of these processes until now. Nobody did it without permission or approval, but Satoshi did. He actually did it. I'm getting chills again. He created new versions of all of these things, and he combined them together, and he automated them so that working together, it's become something that we never realized we always needed and now have for free forever. Some of you might be thinking, you could still stop me and say, so what? Don't we already have all those things? What's wrong with the mint that the US government has, or the dollar that we use, or my bank account, or the Visa payment network, or the PayPal network, or the ledger of transactions that my bank shows of everything that I've spent? What's wrong with all of those things? And that's a very, very good question. That actually brings us to the question of it all. And this is it. How does what we have already compare to what Bitcoin offers us, now offers us? I've looked into this for several years, and so have so many others. And what I found is that Bitcoin wins. Bitcoin is superior. Bitcoin will disrupt or replace each one of these things in the real world, while also empowering billions of poor people globally in a way we've never seen before. And the powers that be can do nothing to stop it. They can only slow it down. This is what makes Bitcoin one of, if not the greatest inventions of all time, and what we need more than ever today. I made the claim that Bitcoin is 6 things: a currency, a mint, a central bank, a wallet/bank account, a payment network, and a record of all the transactions, the blockchain. I'll go through each of these one at a time now. I'll even go into a seventh thing, which is what I started with Bitcoin in a box, which is code, computer code. Okay, that's going to be number 7. So Bitcoin as software, but it's not as much of a physical thing, because software, it's like a language. You write it out, and then it tells hardware and software to do things. These other things I'm going to break out one at a time. So we're going to start with Bitcoin as a currency. Okay, stay with me, all right? And do not be afraid to pause, stop, and think about what you're learning. I'm going to go straight to the point, so it's going to be dense. And some of these concepts are going to be new, but you're going to get it. I'm going to make it easy for you. Just bear with me. This is going to be great. Bitcoin as a currency.